Hello, friends, and welcome back to the channel. It's always beautiful having you here where we can discuss our various concepts in science, and it's always beautiful. Now, today we want to look at what's the composition of the microbiome. We've been talking a lot about the microbiome this past few weeks. We've been talking about what it is, its function. So, it's only fair that we discuss what is the composition. That is, what are the organisms that are present within the microbiome. We've done some videos where we've discussed what the microbiome is, but it's only fair to repeat that the microbiome refers to the totality of all the microorganisms that are present within the human body at a particular point in time. So the viruses, the bacteria, the parasites, the helminths, all that are present, at a particular point in time is what we refer to as the human microbiome, and it plays an important role in our health. It plays a role in digestion, it plays a role in shoring up the immune system, it plays a role in many places. So this is important to note. Now, it's important to note that when we talk about the microbiomes, there are different sites within the body where we have the concentration of microorganisms, the largest and most important being the gut. I always say the gut, we're talking about from the mouth or but majorly we're talking about the large intestines. The large intestines is where we have the largest amount of microbial concentration within the human body, and there are a lot of microorganisms that are concentrated there. We have microorganisms in the mouth, the oral microbiome. We have in the nasal region, the nose, you have microorganisms are present there. You have in the genitals, you have, especially in the vagina, you have microorganisms that are present there. So now today we'll look at what are some of the microorganisms that we find present in all these various places. Like I said before, the gut is the largest place where we have a lot of microorganisms, and some of the microorganisms that are present in the gut, number one, we have lactobacillus, ramososus, and acidophilus are some of the um, microorganisms, the bacteria that are present in the gut microbiome. Lactobacillus is very much there. We have our Clostridium species. There are many different types of Clostridium leptum. All these Clostridia are, part of the gut microbiome. So Lactobacillus, Clostridia. We also have Ruminococcus. Ruminococcus is also a kind of bacteria, and it is present within the gut microbiome. Now, also we have some kind of Clostridium that could be pathogenic in nature and are sometimes present and sometimes not present, like our Clostridium difficile. So it's also present within the gut microbiome. That is one. So, and all of these that I just mentioned are under the Firmicutes. The Firmicutes are a phyla of bacterium. So all these bacteria that I just mentioned, lactobacillus, clostridium, ruminococcus, are all under our firmicutes. Now, after our firmicutes, we have our bacteroidetes. These include our bacteroides fragilis, our Prevotella species, and many other bacteria. They are also a part of our gut microbiome, and they function in helping to digest fiber. When you eat food which is rich in fiber, sometimes it's difficult for the human body to digest this food, but these bacteria, they play a role in helping to digest this kind of food. You also have actinobacterium, which is another phyla, and you have examples such as our bifidobacterium. Bifidobacterium is a well-known bacterium that occurs within the gut microbiome. Bifidobacterium is one of the largest, the highest in number of bacteria that are seen in gut microbiome, and it helps in the digestion of milk. It helps it to break down, fat into short-chain fatty acids. So it is, if you take a sample of the feces of babies and you do your analysis, you see a lot of bifidobacterium there. So they are very useful. They are an example of our gut microbiome. We also have from the phyla of bacteria, we have our enterobacteria, such as our E. coli, that's Escherichia coli, our Salmonella, different types of Salmonella, our Klebsiella species, our Enterobacter, and our Shigella. These are all members of the family Enterobacteriaceae, and they are all part of the gut microbiome, and they play a role in helping to maintain the balance within the gut microbiome. We also have our verochromicrobia. microbia. Sorry for my poor pronunciation. They are also part. You also have our fusobacterium, which are also part. Now, all these are under our gut microbiome, and just like I said before, they are the largest group. They have so many bacteria that are present there in their thousands, and they play a lot of role. We now have also the skin microbiome. So we have microorganisms that are present on the skin, our face, our hands, every part of the skin. So you have your Staphylococcus Staphylococcus epidermidis is an organism that is present. We have our Conibacterium species, we have Cutibacterium species. These are all examples of bacteria that are present on the skin. And we also have our Malassezia, which is a fungi that is present on the skin. And what role do they play? They help to balance, they help to protect the skin from microbial contamination. Any other microorganism that wants to, adhere to the skin, find its way on the skin or stick to the skin, would find out that there's a lot of competition due to the presence of these other bacteria. Apart from that, we also have our oral microbiome, which is microorganisms that are present in the mouth. On the oral microbiome, we have our Streptococcus mutans, our Streptococcus species. We also have the fungi, the Candida albicans are present within the mouth. So they are all a part of the oral microbiome. We also have vaginal microbiome. This is microorganisms that can be found in the vagina of women. And chiefly among the microorganisms that are found there are the lactobacillus species. So many different types of lactobacillus are present there, and they help to maintain an acidic pH for that medium. We always remember that the female genital is like an open tube to the environment, and so it is important that this bacteria colonize this area, make it acidic, and make it difficult for other microorganisms to be able to colonize the area and cause disease for the woman. So these are important. We also have respiratory and nasal microbiomes. That's microorganisms that are found in the respiratory system and in the nasal system. So you have your Staphylococcus aureus, your Conibacterium. These are all examples of bacteria that can be found in the oral and the nasal region. Now, so just as you have the bacteria, you also have fungi in different areas of the body playing different roles. You have your Candida albicans, you have your Saccharomyces cerevisiae, you have different types of fungi that are present. Also within the human microbiome, we have a lot of viruses. And this time, many of the viruses that are present are what we call bacteriophages, which are viruses that have the capacity to invade bacteria, to be able to feed on bacteria. So we have a lot of these kind of viruses being present within the human microbiome. We also have a few archaea that are present within the human microbiome, and these are all important to note. We could have a few parasites, a few protozoas too, but many of the protozoas that find their way into the human body want to cause one disease or the other. There are very few, if there are at all, of protozoa that are non-pathogenic in nature. So like we've said before, the functions of the gut microbiome, ranges from digestion and fermentation of our food, production of short chain fatty acids, immune system modulation, all these things that we have initially talked about, even vitamin synthesis, vitamin synthesis, our vitamin B, our vitamin K, and our vitamin B12 are all, synthesized with the help of the microbiome. So the microbiome plays this very large, serious role. We also have, like we said before, neurological influences, based on our diet can affect the composition of our microbiome, which can in turn affect our mood. So all of this together talk about the functions of the microbiome. Lastly, let's just look at the factors that can influence the microbiome composition. That's what are some of the factors that can, play a role in the composition of microorganisms that will be present within our microbiome. One, diet, the kind of food you eat. So of course microbiome differs from area to area, from locality to locality, from continent to continent, based on the fact that the diet in all these different places are different. The use of antibiotics, heavy use of antibiotics, can lead to a change in the composition and balance in the microbiome of a person. Now, the birth method is also important. If a child is born through vaginal birth, the child passes through the vaginal canal, or a child that is born through cesarean section, these two children have different microbial compositions for many reasons. We also have breastfeeding that plays a role, and many other roles. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.